if you think of, the theme song like from Mission Impossible, bum, 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 it's actually in 5 beats per measure. Now let's talk about adding a lot more angular feel to the music. I think composers like Jerry Goldsmith had a fantastic idea of how to add rhythm and energy to a scene. Instead of dividing everything into divisible groups of 2 and 4, he would do odd meters or patterns full of mixed meters where every measure didn't have the same number of beats in them. And that way you're at the edge of your seat, never quite knowing when the next major downbeat's going to fall. And it has a way of adding, to my ear, almost twice as much propulsion to a scene because it's much more uncomfortable and a lot more exciting to listen to. So if you think of, the theme song like from Mission Impossible, bum, 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 it's actually in 5 beats per measure. Same with that Holst ostinato we heard. 1 and a 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1 and a 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1 and a 2, 3. Right. So it's not an even number of beats per measure, and it seems to carry a lot more interest. And so when you're dealing with odd meters, it's all about grouping your beats because there's no way to evenly divide any of these measures. So what you want to do is think about a meter like 5/4. Well, there's only a couple ways you can divide 5. It's going to be 3 plus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Or backwards, 2 plus 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or take something like 7. You could do 4 plus 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Or maybe 3 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So already we're adding, what I think is a lot more interest to our action cue because everything's a little bit off center and that just adds a lot of interesting creative energy. So here's another sample and it's going to be in 5, but there's going to be a problem with it. I won't be emphasizing any particular beat. It's just going to be straight eighth notes without any particular emphasis or division between 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 3. It's just going to be a straight 5. Okay, so there's no way to really tell that was in 5. That sounds like it could have been in 4 or 2. There was no accent to give us a feeling of where that propulsion is springing from. So now I'm going to emphasize the 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And suddenly it's going to be a lot more interesting. So here's 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right? Same number of beats as the previous sample we heard. It's grouped intuitively and it's a lot more fun to listen to. Here's the reverse. It's going to be 2 plus 3 in this next example. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Much more interesting. So now I'm going to step it up even more, and this is where it's crossing a little bit into Jerry Goldsmith territory, where the meters are rotating back and forth a bit unpredictably. So what I've done is taken a measure of 5, and then I added a bar of 3, and then I repeat that a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And so take a listen to how that sounds with just the rhythm. So 5. So see what that did? It's hard to really bang your head along to it or tap your toe because the placement of where you think the downbeat is going to be is somewhere else. And that just adds a little bit of excitement and tension to a scene. Now, let's take the exact same rhythm track and we're going to sprinkle some more strings on top of it, some low strings down in the low end, and we're going to add some violin lines in the upper part, kind of filling in every other measure or so. So now here's what it sounds like with just a few extra parts added to it. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's already turning into something of an action cue that I think might be usable somewhere. If you'd like to learn more film scoring tips like these, sign up for free, and I promise you, these lessons will help you on your journey to becoming an accomplished film composer.